Free
Freestyle is
bean. You got
hey.
to free bean it.
Okay. As you go out into the darkness that is our world and it drags your soul down, you've got to get that little brown pill because it's Viagra for your soul.
All right, got a funeral foam macchiato for Chows. This one's just hot and sad. One graveyard grind drip for Gosh, Josh, or both. Somebody come get this.
Yeah.
I don't
But
even like. I don't even put like on the poker face things we've been doing. I don't even put part one, two, three because I know you're going to get dinged for that because they're even though it's not like connected. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
it just they don't. Oh, part one. Where's part two? It's like, but also I don't like people that can tell a full story in 2 minutes. That I don't like.
You don't like that, huh? Well, I mean, I do like
No,
longer form.
because I'm a millennial and I don't need things like shoved in my face like in 2 minutes, like telling me their whole life story. I'm not Gen X or I'm not Gen Z or Gen Alpha. I'll just say that. I have an attention span.
So this is why you only have 12 million followers and not,
This
50 million.
you're right.
I'm just saying because you're a grumpy old man.
You're right.
And I was a grumpy old man. Your kids, I was ready to slap the snot shit out of them, man.
Oh, I know why too.
Yeah, you did. I was like, you
What
shut your hole.
Well, tell me why.
Okay.
Okay, so let me give you a little history because somebody commented and claimed that they're too young to know the Muppets, the real Muppets, and like they don't know what they're
I
talking
mean,
about.
there's if you're a good dad, they know them.
They actually like so they they like stuff I can't even stand like the old Muppet Show. I've never really liked it because I didn't grow up with it. When
Sure.
they were young, their grandparents showed them all those like the old Muppet shows. They really liked the old Muppet movies. Um, they've actually liked everything except that new one. And I
Yeah.
agree because I watched it. I didn't laugh one time. And Kermit's voice, what in the hell? That's the guy who did Constantine. And they should still have Steve Whitmire. Now, I understand Steve Whitmire is a pain in the ass to work with, but he actually sounds like Kermit.
So there's always going to be this uphill battle. Now, I did talk about it on Wise and Nerdy right after it aired. Uh,
I know.
I
I
was,
saw that. I
did
saw
you?
that,
Okay.
and I knew that clip was coming, and I'm like, he's not gonna like that.
uh, well, I do feel like the Jackson and Calvin are teenagers. So I think I was probably the same way. There's something about a teenager that says either I'm all in, it's the best thing ever, or even if it's just not for me, I hate it. And um, I don't know, it was just a fun reaction when they did that. But yeah, I grew up with it. It's a lot of fun memories. And then when I was a young adult, at the end of you might have seen some of this. Time Life books was a thing in the 80s, and then it became like DVDs in the new 90s and 2000, whatever. And towards the end of that run, for those of you who don't know what that is, groups would come together and put together series. So you get all the best of Johnny Carson on this DVD set,
Yep.
and they did that with the Muppet Show. Only had like 3 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons, and so I got the entire collection, watched it all, loved it all. And so, yeah, and this was the first time in my life it was like, that's nostalgia because instantly it was eating nostalgia cereal right there. Because it
Yeah.
was the production of it. So I never realized how much of a producer I am that even as a young kid, what I fell in love with the Muppet Show was not necessarily the jokes or the guests. It was the production, and they hit the notes of the production of that show with the cold open with her in the dressing room and everything else and the cast. Yeah, it was great. I haven't even tried to show it to my kids. I wasn't even going to bother. And my wife said the same thing about the voice. And I was like, okay, I get it. Jim Henson was to me the only voice. It's not
Steve
going to be the
Whitmire.
same.
Steve
Steve's
Whitmire.
okay. He's
Yeah,
okay.
Steve sounds like Kermit. Plus, dude, there's like 50,000 people that can do Kermit's voice now online. And that voice that was in this show was the guy who did Constantine in the second movie, of the newer movies, just without the Russian accent. It's the same guy. So
Matt, Matt, whatever his name is.
yeah, and I agree with you. Like teenagers are usually all in. But with my boys, their biggest complaint with this one was you bring in someone like Sabrina Carpenter, and it's like that to them. They're very
Yeah.
touchy on that stupid pop music crap where,
Okay.
it's just like there's so many like, and I thought Seth Rogen was going to be funnier. It's just like when I
Seth Rogen
saw,
didn't have much of a part in it, you know?
it's like when I saw the movie Good Fortune. You got Seth Rogen, Keanu Reeves, and Aziz
Uh-huh.
Ansari,
Yeah.
and it was garbage. It
Yeah.
was you're expecting like these three comedy forces coming together and nothing. People are afraid to make good comedy anymore because of how
Yeah.
the
Then, well, it's
culture
how
is.
the culture, exactly. The culture, the internet. Seth has grown and changed. Now, I'm speaking for him. I don't know if he thinks this way, but in my opinion, if I had gone through his journey, oh, he had nothing to lose when he was funny. Now he does. He has a career to lose, or the money, or the ability to create what he wants. I don't know. But the
Yeah.
best joke in the show was Fozzie telling them they're going in a different direction. He's like, "I'm the producers." Oh, then you can tell yourself. And that was like it. I get it. I don't understand Sabrina Carpenter's music, but I thought she fit the Linda Ronstadt vibe of the Muppet Show or any of the others that I didn't care for as a kid. I mean, I'm not arguing talent. Well, okay, I am. If you want to email us, we'll get an email and we'll put it out there. We haven't got that yet. You could hit me at w8nshow@gmail.com, or you could hit Uploads of Fun. No, it's what's yours at where can they reach you at Uploads?
Yeah, stuff at
Stuff at
uploadsofun.com.
Uploads of Fun. Yeah. So you can
Oh,
email
bring the
both of us.
emails, bring them. Now,
Yeah.
listen, I've told people lately, like with hater comments that we get, because hater comments are always the same. They never have any invention or creativity. I'm telling people, like, bring the roast. Like, I'm like, bring the pain. If you really want to roast, go for it. Like, actually be creative. So send me those emails. I love it. I think it's great.
What I do love, and I treat my kids the same. I think this is generationally where things kick in of you forget how you came through life, right? Because when we came through life, I wasn't hating on things. I didn't, well, I mean, there was always sometimes, right? That's just pop culture in general. Every pop culture is like, it's cool to hate on this thing, but you weren't intentionally going, I'm going to ruin somebody's day. You were
Yeah.
just going through life. And then I
And
see my kids.
don't you feel like we moved on like quicker? Like we saw something, we're like, I don't like this. It's not like we went
Oh, yeah.
somewhere to
Because it didn't
write
stay in our
about it.
face.
We're
Yeah.
like, oh, we don't like this. We're not going to listen to it or watch it. That was
Yeah.
it.
You might go down and play some pickup football or something in the neighborhood and talk about how trash it was for a day, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun that way. But I've noticed that I get on my kids the same way. It's like, y'all just hating to hate. And so I do. I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to be drunk uncle because I really loved that episode. And everything you said about it is true. Everything you said, Sabrina Carpenter, why? Okay, they grabbed whatever reason they grabbed her as a recognizable name. So who else could they put in that's better? I don't know because everybody's going to handle something. The voice of Kermit, yeah, but I was expecting it to be off. I never expected it to be right. And you're right. There's been some really good versions out there. What I got from it.
Have you watched the 2015 office Muppets Office special kind of thing?
No, I forgot that got put out and it just
Dude,
keeps buried.
they actually, since they went and watched that one that they didn't like, and they're like, we gotta redeem ourselves. So they went and started watching that. Dude, it is funny.
Good.
Like funny. Like there's a
Good.
lot of stuff that I was like, I can't believe they did that.
Well, and the Muppets the Muppet Show, that
Yeah.
vibe of that when you try to do that was an adult show. There were always, because it was TV, it was always subtle jokes, which I think
Yeah.
should stay. I don't need,
Yeah.
Piggy dropping F-bombs or anything.
No.
But yeah, I'll check it out because when they did Muppets Tonight, when they tried to do a late night talk show, I couldn't do it. I tried so hard. And I had to imagine. Well, first I was like, I made a Bane reference in my comment, right? It's like, I don't know if the kids are going to get the Bane reference. And then I was like, screw it. I'll just threaten to call defects and bail because I'm like, by that point, I'm like, they don't care. They're probably not going to read this. Josh is going to read this. He's going to laugh. I'm going to write it for him because Calvin and Jackson do not give a crap about negative reviews on their comments. It's not going to matter.
No, and I've been trying to teach them because just like personally, they've been doing music reaction shows on Wednesday night on Calvin's Twitch where they each show each other an album. And like I'm listening to them like review the album, and I'm like, listen, even if you don't like it, you've got to figure out why. And you've also got to talk about what you do respect about this artist. It may not be your style, which is fine.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
But like there's a reason they're a recording artist. There's a reason they have a deal. There's a reason they have fans. And you got to figure out why that is. You can't just hate on it just because it's not your style.
Yeah.
That's why that clip was a little extreme, because they're usually a little more nuanced. But they just, I remember them watching it and listening to them. And I like went out and watched it with them. I was like, I don't hate it like they hate it. But I was like, I didn't really laugh. Like,
yeah.
And I do laugh at the Muppets stuff because they come up with some funny jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really do.
I'm a little surprised you didn't laugh at anything in it, but I mean, I didn't laugh as much as I wanted to in that, and I hoped for more.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some moments that I laugh. And I mean, from the cold open, I mean, even before the cold open, from the nostalgia open, where Rolf just sings, is like, "What, you been thinking this a quiet, memory in your head or some whatever he says."
Yeah,
you had me right. So there was they were not going to do wrong on that episode for me, but I can absolutely. I can't say I loved. I didn't laugh as much as I wanted to. I definitely didn't care. I fast forwarded through half of Sabrina's songs. I'm like, I gave it a shot, saying, "Well, will I like this?" Because I don't know much about her music. No, I can see why people like her, and just moved on.
Yeah, I think you've got the thing there that I don't have, which is the nostalgia factor, and I think my because it's not something I grew up with, and like that's why when that new Muppets movie came out in the like mid 2010s with Jason Segel.
Yeah,
I liked that one a lot.
I did.
It was more my time, and I was like, I like this.
And Jason Segel is very funny.
Yeah,
and he loves what he writes about. And I think he helped write that movie. I did not really get around to seeing the second one because it was a time of life or something. And I haven't seen it yet.
It's worth a watch. It's not as good as the first one, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Okay. But one more thing to all of that is, I love that y'all are. I kind of hate, but love that since it's relatively terrible, you're always going, well, what's terrible this week? And I'm like, Josh, why are you so negative? But you're not. Y'all are really turning it into fun discussions and opening up doors and sharing stuff. Or at least discuss, sharing ideas and you going off on your kids. I was like, yeah, I'm there, man. Oh, and today this is for Jackson and Calvin. I got my Sesame Street Resist shirt because I'm resisting their anger on it, but no. But yeah. So we got so much to talk about. You've been putting out, dude. I got such a big editing project coming up. It is not even funny. So I guess I'll jump into that. I went to Chattanooga this weekend. I think I floated it past you a while back to see if it was going to be like worth your time and trouble. It is not.
You said Chattanooga or Chattanooga?
Chattanooga. It's in Chattanooga.
Oh wow! I thought you just misspoke. It's a real word.
It's okay. It's there's a term for words that people make up that will relate to something, but I don't remember what that is. So I wouldn't call Chattanooga a real word. But yeah, no, it's Chattanooga in Chattanooga. It was fine. I'm not going to go through all that, but we also made it our wedding anniversary trip because our anniversary is in January, and I already knew I was going to Chattanooga, and we love Chattanooga. So my wife looked for fun things to do, and on Thursday night, Josh, this is the big editing thing. I recorded an hour and a half to 2 hours of video of me roasting my own coffee that I'm drinking right now.
Nice.
It's a nice little shop called Rembrandt's in the Art District of Chattanooga, and you can book private classes. So it's just me and the wife, and it was at 6. I think it was at 6 o'clock that night. And they take you down to it, and he walks us through the history of coffee. And I asked him so many things. Some of that I'd learned from you. He was like, yeah, I got this guy. He said there's like this white line in it. He's like, yeah, he showed me everything. And so I did. And he let me record all of it. So I've got to do a bunch of editing. But yeah, roasted. My uncle, we got 2 bags of it included, because one for my wife, one for me, but I got them both. And it was the coolest thing to go through and experience. And if we lived in Chattanooga, we'd be meeting there and recording in the roaster place while he's doing his thing. We'd record the show. It'd be
Dude, that would be
insane.
really cool. I have never gotten to do that before. I'm super jealous. Where did the beans originate from? Do you remember?
Kind of. It's a region. So
Okay.
we talked about that because Z Beans is where I got some of my education on, going directly to the farms and so on and so forth. They actually specifically use one middleman, and so they do a region. It's out of Guatemala and Ecuador. And they pull from a couple. And he talked to, no, I don't remember. I was so making sure my new gimbal worked and everything was
Yeah.
getting caught and the audio was good, that I'm absorbing it, and I learned a lot of things, but I'm gonna go back. Uh, but ultimately, it's like 4 or 5 farms in this one region. So they'll say
Okay.
their stuff is from this area because it's just not enough. Because they also sell to bigger companies. Like there are companies that come directly to this farm. So essentially, this smaller coffee roasting company is picking up not the leftovers. That sounds bad, but it's like, okay, you sold 80% of your stuff. Let us get the other 20%.
Okay.
And then that's how they kind of source it. So it's not just one farm. Um, but they're like, man, we got so many, coffee comes in the beans, right? Just in these
Mhm.
big, huge sacks that are 150 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
They have so many of these that they give them away. So I brought you something, man. I got something for me. It's gonna be a wall decoration. Uh this one I think you would like.
Oh, that is cool.
So I can't get far enough back, but it's got the
Yeah. Yeah.
bean on it with the white line, and it's got all this writing. And I thought your graphic design and style would like the formatting.
I
So
really like
at
that. That's
some point,
cool.
I'll get that to you. God, man, burlap gets everywhere. And then I is this the one I wanted for me? Yeah, with the cat on it. So it's gonna go behind me somewhere somehow. I
That's
can fall.
cool.
But yeah, they just gave them to us. We're like, I'm dragging a big burlap sack full of sacks because we got one we thought the kids would want to make like purses or different things out of them.
Yeah.
Kids do not care. They're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm dragging that 3 blocks up in Chattanooga behind me going to the car.
Dude, you
Oh.
are now like you're extending. I feel like I've got some work to do with my coffee nerdery now. Like I need to go, I've got to find a place now and do my own beans. And you have surpassed me. That is crazy. That is crazy.
It's a fun date night. Well, so here's
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
cool.
I am I am in parts a Tasmanian devil. So when you unlock something you're like, oh, you like this? Here's a whole world you don't know. I tend to dive in and go. So yeah, because she was even like, well, we'll go because nobody's seen this show yet. I think we're about there. We're going to talk after this recording. But she knows we're doing it, but she didn't know. She's like, oh, I'll look for coffee places. I'm like, I don't want to go to like a Starbucks or whatever.
Yeah.
You ruined me a little bit. And that's when she found some what she calls the bougie places, and that's how we found Rembrandt's and so on. So I was like, yeah, oh yeah, I'll go learn to roast coffee. And yeah,
Dude, as much as they charge for coffee anymore, I've got to go to a bougie place because I want it to be like worth it.
yeah,
I mean, the only thing I will get at Starbucks anymore, I think we've talked about this before, is I will get a iced caramel macchiato. That's it. That's the reason their sugary drinks are so popular because they're trying to cover up that burnt taste. that's that's what it is. It's like, let
yeah,
me get a lot of sugar with that coffee because it's burnt. But the smell of Starbucks, though, you got to respect it because it's like part of
yeah.
their brand.
There is there is a lighter. I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, I bought that bag a while back, the first bag of fresh roasted that I got, and I said, okay, there's definitely a cleaner taste to it. There's a fresh, I don't know even how to describe it. Yeah, but even doing it myself, so I know exactly when it was roasted. So it's not
Yeah.
even written on the bag. We just have the bags and brought them home. Uh,
And the beans aren't real shiny, right?
right? No.
They're more matte. You've got the line.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like when they're shiny, that you've ruined it. That's the oils already like seeping out of the bean.
Oh, he talks about all of that. So there's so many clips that are going to come from this, and even the long form is going to have to be cut because I mean it's not a solid 2 hours cut. Stop and move the camera or do this, but it's over an hour of footage easily.
That's awesome.
And so it'll come out as a little brown pill special when I finally get it edited.
Nice.
But yeah, man, it was so that would have been cool with you and Rachel and me and Aaron. And honestly, the girls would have just stepped back and just let us know. Actually, the girls might have gone and done something else and let us go turn out there.
I don't know if we've talked about that before. Is your wife into coffee? I mean, does she drink it at all though? Oh, okay. She doesn't drink it at all. See, Rachel,
she's hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Okay. My Rachel drinks coffee, but definitely does not care to even like 10% of what I care. She's like, whatever you say, cool. But then, like, you know, I'll make her a cup, but she wants a ton of cream in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, maybe a little bit. Like I did this morning, I did an iced vanilla latte, stuff like that, because I already had a hot cup of coffee earlier. So, like, I got up to edit to get ready for this show, and I was like, now I'm going to do iced, you know? So, yeah, she's definitely not into it like I am. So, but.
And I'm assuming your kids, although obviously we talked about in the first episode, you stole the last cup of coffee from your kid.
Yeah.
Are they into it as well?
Calvin doesn't do coffee unless it's like a specialty drink. We'll sometimes go on an early morning trip to the one coffee shop I like called Coffee Black, and they do their own roasting and everything like that there. And he'll do something called a D'Angelo, and it's like a really good iced sugary drink. And Jackson's into coffee like I am. He'll, like, if I get a pour over, he likes to taste it and he enjoys it and stuff like that.
But Jackson's the younger one, yeah.
Jackson's older.
Jackson's 8. Is you're old, yeah.
Yeah, he's 17. Calvin's 14.
Yeah,
Calvin's just not. He's not a coffee at home person yet. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackson will have a cup of coffee during the day.
Okay, so my two older ones. So Oakland will make himself some coffee sometimes, especially when he had an early morning job. Broke my heart. He went and got a big thing of knockoff Folgers off the rack at Kroger and got a $20 Walmart glass pot. I'm like, I have all this. What? You're killing me, man. And he did that for a while. But my daughter Crosby, my oldest, I don't think I met her. She is like Calvin. She will only do coffee basically out.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen her make a cup of anything to take with her, but she'll hit a Starbucks or whatever every once in a while. But Ryland, my youngest, I used it to bribe him. So he is about to be 14, and he's really kind of coming into his own and figuring out just a path of life and this and that and the other. And he's listening to me, at least for now. So I'm trying to get as much knowledge and wisdom as I can until he spins off. Which I think he spun off early. I think he's just an early bloomer. He ran away from home when he was like 9 because he didn't want to do his homeschool in the middle of the night, and the police brought him back. Yeah, it's a thing. I was not laughing at the time. But yeah. So maybe he just peaked early with his rebellion. But when we were leaving, I stuck my head in his room, and because everybody is kind of tasked with make sure the dogs are fed, this and the other, look after the little ones, even though everybody's basically independent, just make sure touch base, make sure everybody's good. Your grandfather's next door, so on and so forth. And stuck my head in his room and said, "Hey, you're the only one I trust, so make sure you take care of the dogs and whatnot, and I'll take you to get good coffee when I get back." And he did. He did like 3 loads of dishes and took out some trash and cleaned out some stuff in the backyard. And so when I get back, it's like, hey, and he wants to go. So I'm going to take him to the dancing goat tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
He wants to go to one of the national ones. So it's going to be exploration. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun when you can share that with somebody in your life,
I think a lot of people don't understand good coffee until you like take them and they experience it, and then it's fun when you can kind of like start a podcast about it, which is pretty awesome. I was thankful when I first met you and you said you were into coffee, and my snob coffee mind went, You're into coffee. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And now you're like roasting your own beans. Like it's not crazy. Like I'm always worried that people are gonna be like, who's this jerk telling me that? I do love coffee, but you were like, oh, what do you have? What are you thinking? Like what are you talking about here?
Yeah.
And like now you're roasting your own beans. That's epic.
It's you do Bible things, so it's Gideon, right? You don't want the 5,000 morons that are just going to pick their boogers and put their face in the water. You need to have people who are going to like kneel down and strategically look around and keep their back safe, and yeah, it's just a boundary. It's because honestly, I'd have to go back and watch it because that was the first time we really talked on air. When you did it. So I don't know if it didn't come off as bougie. It was like, who's this dude? I was like, oh, you got, because I try not to be snobby, and this is where I am in life now. I'm just going to say what I think. I'm getting to where I just don't care anymore because I have to force myself. I've cared so much for all my life and it's gotten me nowhere. And it's not true. It's got me in the negative places and depression and trouble. And so now, like, my mom's not with us anymore, but one time she's like, you want coffee? And my honest answer is always yes. Yes. And then about 30 seconds after I said yes, I went, wait, what kind of coffee? She's like, oh, I've got this instant, and it's like the brown shatter that we talked about. Yeah, I was like, nope. I couldn't even control it. I just was, I wouldn't say rude because they laughed at it, so it did come off kind of funny, but I was like, no, absolutely not. That's not, I'm not trying to take away from what you like, but I'm good. No, that's not coffee. I'm good. And
I mean,
so I get why you say you felt bougie, but yeah,
that is definitely not coffee, and that's crazy that they put that on the shelf. And I think you said it was your older son who, he'll get the Folgers and stuff.
Yeah,
we should prank him, dude. We should make a fake YouTube video about the dangers of like Folgers and Maxwell House and like what they put in it, and like maybe show like just a top-down shot of somebody putting like dirt in a can and like half of it's dirt and then they mix it up in a paint mixer.
Yeah,
and this is what you're drinking. Just show it to him and capture his reaction. We probably do it all with AI.
Yeah. Then we do one for the public that is like a mix of anime. Like we get Attack on Titan. It's like, this is what you're drinking, and it's just the blood pouring on the Titans or whatever, the grossness of it all. Yeah.
Dude,
man,
that'd be great.
So in everything in life is a relationship, right? Everything, even if you're just stopping by the coffee shop and getting that coffee for that few seconds, you're interacting. There's a book I read called Return to Zero, I think it is, or something like that. I always have to look it up because it made an impact on me and what they're teaching. I just never remember the name of the book. But as a doctor in Hawaii, blah, 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 he studied, but it's this sphere of influence. Like we all have this sphere around us that you can't see basically. And when they interact, it's like a quantum, connection kind of deal. It's like your past, your baggage, I wasn't a part of, but I'm here now. So I'm part of the solution. So it's these interactions. So everything, I view life like that, everything from little to big. And in terms of like a dating relationship, we said hello and then moved in together the next day.
Oh yeah,
doing a podcast.
Oh yeah, so I'm heavy real quick. Hot and heavy real quick.
So I'm still going, I don't know where the pissed off lines are with Josh. So there's I've come up with this. I want to see what you think about these levels of where are we? It relates. So there is, you could tell some joke. We've definitely told some joke. I did it early on, talking about the sweep stuff on the floor and get the wife and to clean it up. There's that level. Then there's the smacking on our kids level. And then there's like, are you prepared for the full floodgate of TikTok level? Because I've been very,
what do you mean?
This is my theory, right?
Okay.
TikTok, if you're into TikTok, everybody has their thing, right? So it's whatever they share. Sometimes it's the people who are super into anime, they hold back until they can trust you, and then you walk into their lair and it's like all Japanese on the wall and they get robes and everything.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
So with social media, my social media is TikTok, right? So there's a range of things you can see on TikTok, and I send certain things to certain people. And, I always send like little things to you in TikTok. Like, here's some cool music that I thought about, or here's something I thought you might find funny. But there's some things
Okay.
like, I don't know if he's ready for the darkness of my humor to see
Uh,
this.
I, I think
Wow,
one
the
thing I
silence was deafening,
wait.
Josh.
One
The
thing I want to say.
silence was deafening.
One thing I want to say real quick. If you want to send me something, it's probably better to text it to me.
I
TikTok
kind of thought too, because yeah, I'm
Okay,
sure you're
TikTok
same.
DMs. Like
Yeah,
if I've tried to keep up and then I lost track of the videos you're sending me. No, dude,
no, it's fine. Yeah.
I watched a trailer yesterday for a show called Black Jesus.
Okay.
It was on Adult Swim, and it's about the second coming of Christ in Compton. And
Yes.
and I don't it didn't offend me. I think a lot of Christians would get offended by it, but the message though, dude,
Yeah.
is like pretty dang strong. But Jesus does smoke pot in it, which I'm not sure how I feel about. But no, I'm still in the school or the the part of the world or the generation that I can take a joke. And um do you have an example that you want to try and float past me to see if what I would think?
I will find one from because it was recent. So I'll send just about anything to my wife. There's a I don't think you got to meet him at Dragon Con. One of my closest friends is Phil Keating of Botched, and he's a
Okay.
human goblin, and like full D&D. Like he's a great guy who tries to act like he's not, but there's some things
Okay.
that he says to me. I'm like, who didn't hurt you? Oh my God, stop sending me this. And he'll send more, right? So I'll send him some of but there's a video I sent my wife. I'll have to find it in the last couple of days. That even her reaction, now, if this is audio only for whatever reason, you have to go find the video. But her reaction was just that instant, oh, just physical shock and horror because it was a very, there's jokes you can only share with certain people because they're so wrong
Right.
that taken out of context or taken away from like that one or two people in your life that goes, oh, I see why this is funny, but I also see why it's wrong. And the reaction of the combination is a nuclear effect that is like, that cancel. I mean, there's cancel culture wouldn't exist if they saw some of the
Yeah.
things I sent because they're like, you're just wrong, dude. There's just something wrong with you.
I guess yeah, I'd have to see it because I mean, for me, a lot like if it's a dark joke in a stand up routine or something, like I can get a lot of context and I can discern
Hmm.
this person. And if they're like just nasty and it's just you know gross for
No,
gross
yeah,
sake,
yeah, no, I hate
sometimes
that.
it's actually funny. Sometimes it's like, oh, that was just wow, you're a terrible person. Like
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I share things that way, and so there's a
that's
thing
why I
about
tell my kids
audience.
about that's why I tell my kids about swearing. Like a lot of Christians believe that swearing is a sin. I don't get that anywhere in the Bible. First of all,
Right.
swearing is a heart thing. Like I teach my kids, like if you're gonna swear, like it should be for comedic purposes, like if you stub your toe or just kind of like for emphasis. But you can't use swearing in a fight. You're trying to escalate it. You're trying to hurt with those words. That's kind of what I teach my
Mm-hmm.
kids. So it's the same thing with comedy. I just there's like I love Jeff Dye. I don't know if you know who Jeff Dye is.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but like a lot of people hate him because of the things he talks about and some of his people walking out during his shows. It's great because it's like he'll have one half of the room walking out and the other half of the room defending him. And it's like could be a joke about like black people and he's a white guy. And you
Mm-hmm.
got black people on the other side defending him, and the people that are
Yeah,
walking out are calling him an Uncle Tom and stuff like that. And it's like, what the hell is going on? Why even come to a comedy show then? If you're going there
yeah,
to look for this stuff, like
yeah.
it's ridiculous.
And so far, the things this is gonna sound dirty. It's not what I mean, but the things we've shown each other, we've been into like instantly. I'm not sure which shirt you have on, but I know your Chris Farley shirt's that color.
This is
Uh,
Fallout Boy.
okay. But you had the Chris Farley shirt. It's like, I've never seen that one. I have the Chris Farley in a Van Gogh down by the river, and it's got
Yes.
the start. So I'll find some and I'll text it to you like, all right, we're gonna turn up the temperature and see. And it's never. I guess it's real talk. It is how real can people be together? And we met in a time of life where it feels like you've practiced being real, not caring if people didn't like how you were. And the podcast is really bringing that out, by the way. The podcast is really bringing out more of who all of you are, and I
Yeah,
think in a good way.
that's definitely the goal. And I don't know, there's certain things that I won't joke about online or talk about
Hmm.
because they need more deep conversations. Like I'm really careful with politics, quote
Oh yeah,
unquote
yeah,
politics, because what people want is they want a 20-second clip, and then they want to assume everything after that 20
yeah.
second clip, they assume everything else. And it's just like, nope, I'm not going to fall into that trap, because
Hmm.
because people nowadays, two things: they can't use critical thinking, that's going away. And number two is we can't hold two things true at one time, or
You were
multiple
just
things
talking about
true.
that, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I actually did, on this last one we recorded, which will be out in a couple weeks, I went on a little rant about some of the political stuff, and I used some expletives, and I felt it like coming through my soul when I did it. I was like,
Yeah,
after it was over, I kind of joked that they were like looking at me like,
you're
what the hell?
preaching,
And I was
man.
like, that felt good. I
Yeah.
like that, because sometimes I think, and in that context, I'm okay with talking about it because it's longer form. I can give a little bit more
Hmm.
context and things like that. And I think, and I also this is why we don't have 50 million followers, because you said, we could have 50 million, but I try not to use politics, things that are super topical, or celebrity death, for example,
Sure.
just to gain ground and gain followers. I think that's icky.
Yeah. And it feels like what you're doing is being true to who you are. And I've had those moments where I got on something. You preachers will say somebody's pulling it out of me, the spirits call it whatever. But you get in those moments where it's just important and you get this energy and you're talking about something and it hits with people, and that's where the discussions come in. So nobody knows about this, but basically I pitched a shirt idea to you about something going on in the world, and you took that stance, which is fair. And I told you, I was like, I understand this is so far away from your brand, but I didn't know where your mindset was. And you're like, yeah, it's the politics. I'm like, well, I'm going for cash grab is
Yeah.
essentially what I'm doing, and in a way that I like, but
Yeah.
still didn't work. And it didn't work, I think, because that's not who I am. Right. One, I'm not a cash grab guy, but also I'm not, if I'm gonna make a statement, I'm gonna make a statement about things. And
Yeah.
like I commented, it's gotten some traction. It's not much, but I commented on Daily Show video. I like the Daily Show with context. I mean, it's not like I'm a huge fan and eat everything they say, but I've always liked how Jon Stewart presents things, and the people around him are somewhat funny. But anyway, the comment was it was about some political stuff still going on. It's like, when are we going to stop making jokes and talking about this and actually do something about it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the real sense of thing that hits home. Um,
I even think,
yeah,
man, like I'll just say it, and you can chop around it if you want. I'll count myself in here.
I don't
Three,
edit anything.
two. Okay. I
Unless you,
mean,
well, okay, let me rephrase, people. I do edit. There's been some times I've edited things out of this show because Josh will get into a flow and he'll talk about things that aren't ready yet. And,
sure.
or I'll say something about we're working on a project. So there's things that we can't release yet that will get edited. But for the most part, what we say is what we say. And that's how it
Yeah.
goes.
I think you're right on though about that. I think, people want to go and, let's just take the ICE thing, for example. People want to go and protest ICE. That's not doing anything helpful for anyone. And I think nowadays it's getting more people hurt. It's getting kids hurt. It's sending the wrong message. I've seen videos of immigrants saying, hey, what we need is actually, we need legal aid. We need money.
Yeah.
We need this stuff.
We need the process to be better.
Yeah. No one's talking about that though.
No,
Like,
no, right? Nobody wants to talk about solutions. They
no.
just want to, okay.
And there might, and you know what? There might be people talking about it,
Well,
But that's
yeah,
not what we're gonna get put in our feed, because that doesn't
right,
feed our rage.
right. Definitely that. I have known a person. It was just one, anecdotally. It's just one, but her husband had came over illegally, and they actually fell in love. They're still together today, and it's been 15 some odd years, whatever. But her husband had gotten here legally, and so I took the opportunity to learn. So, okay, why isn't he going through the process and this and that? And at the time, now this was in the mid 2000s.
Okay.
At the time, the way she and grain of salt, right? Because you and I feel like we got the same mentality. Is that we're going to present both sides of the story. We're trying to be balanced as we can. It's like, okay, this is my understanding of the process. Here's this is this. Not everybody's like that. So grain of salt, her story. But she's saying, well, he would have to go back to Mexico for at least 6 months to start the process, basically losing all income and everything, being away from his now family and everything else there here in the U.S. And then it was thousands and thousands of dollars to go through the overtime to go through the process. And it takes about 2 years. And like, holy cow. And it's been the joke since I was a kid. Stand-up comedians have told the joke of, go ask an immigrant, ask any American natural born citizen of America that any of the questions on the immigration test, most of them won't know it. Most people won't know what's on, you won't know the answer to it. And
Yeah.
that's been, so for 40 years, that joke has been around at least. And yeah, so the process is not great, but you're right. You got to look at, well, I've taught my kids and when I try to teach people, and I get it too. We get caught up in the emotion, but how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you look at politics, you look at the news, you look at your 20-second social media clip.
Yeah.
I get caught up in something. I'm like, oh, this is it instantly hooked me of, oh, this is salacious, and this might give me something to go ooh to somebody and wag my finger at it.
Yeah.
And then 30 seconds in, I'm like, you have not given me one fact. You haven't landed on anything concrete. It's always theys and thems and feelings, and you haven't referenced one thing like here's a link you can go look at, or here's a video. Even when the videos are wrong, at least that's a step in a direction of,
Yeah.
and like and that's you talk about protests. I'm all for us holding our government accountable. I'm also
Yeah.
in the mindset that protests and parades give off the same energy. Oh, you won the World Series and we shut down the city and you paraded through the town. Okay, all I did was block traffic and everybody forgets about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the same with a lot of protests. Okay, you block
That's a good way
traffic
to
and
look at it.
you
Yeah.
know, um, yeah, it's a lot. So we try not to be too much in our lives,
Yeah.
but
I think one thing you said is one thing I really I try to instill in my kids, and that's feelings versus facts.
mhm. Facts don't have feelings.
And I'm a very emotionally driven person. So that's one thing I've always had to work on in my adult life is when I get that way, like preaching facts to myself. So like, here's what's really happening. Here's what's happening in your head. Not that your feelings aren't valid, because that's what people think when you say that sometimes. Oh, my feeling, it's my feelings. It's my, what was the thing that used to be, this is my truth.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay,
but it's not.
but it's not really the truth. So let's like work through it together and figure out like what, how we can help you and how with the
Yeah.
facts of the situation.
The world, humans, I don't know another word for it. I'm sure you'll help me out here with your clean mind, but humans bastardize words all the time. It
Yeah.
takes something that means something, like be woke was keep your head on swivel, keep your head up, look around, make sure you're not, and now it's liberal nonsense.
Yeah.
And there's so many words. Oh, there was one specifically. It had triggered. You said truth, my truth. Okay. Now that is a world of perception. And
Yep.
I can see real times in my life when I've talked to my parents who their truth was different, right? The way they lived the world, the way they believed the world worked was different than my truth. That means we can hold two things to be true, and that means we can also talk to each other about
Yeah.
perception of the world. But it has been spun into basically, though, this is how I feel. That's not. that's true. You feel that way, but let's take away the feelings and look at life and then see where you believe. You haven't even done the work to figure out what you believe when you
Yeah.
say it's my truth. And I gotta imagine that's why you beat up your dad, because he just always lived in his feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, actually, it's more my mom, but I never beat her up. Just want to say
Yeah,
that.
but
And I
there's a
will.
story. I've been trying to figure out how to get to the story. You teased the story a long time ago. I was like, yeah, I fought my dad or I beat up my dad or something like, oh, we're getting to that
Okay,
story.
I didn't beat him up. We were wrestling, like a father and son do. I didn't tell you the story.
No, you just alluded to it and I'm putting it in my notes and
All
now I'm
right,
getting back to it.
so we were wrestling one time, and I think I was probably in like seventh or eighth grade, so I was already a pretty big kid. And we normally would do that and just to have fun. And I did something, and I hurt him real bad to the point where he yelped, and I was
Oh
like,
no.
oh my gosh. So what I did as a kid, I ran right to the phone. I dialed 911, and my
Oh
dad's
no.
like, no, no. And I just right away hung up the phone. And
Oh no.
so like 10 minutes later, they come to our
Yep.
apartment door, knock on the door, and I'm standing there. They're looking at me. I'm like right at the same level as my dad. I'm like probably bigger than him. They're looking at me, they're looking at my dad, and they're like, they pulled me aside and they're like, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh
it was over pretty. That's part of my stand up bit. Like, they
yeah.
asked me if I want a job, but I'm like, it was weird because it was just over really quickly. But I had no clue that if you just hung up the phone, they would just like show up at the door.
That's hilarious.
So if people want to talk bad about cops, hey, you just hang up the phone, they'll
Mm.
show up right away.
That's not where I thought that story was going. That's great though. And side note, that's all I ever wanted to do as a minor was I mean, at 14 years old, there's a picture of I hit 6 foot even, which apparently my dad is 6 foot, so I tower over him now.
Okay.
Um, and so yeah, at 14, there's a picture of me and him where we're the same height and everything. So I always wanted to be the minor that the cops send in to the liquor stores to get underage alcohol because I also was broken and hurt and damaged and could lie and manipulate people like nobody's business. I grew up in religion, and when religion broke me, I became very good at what religion. Okay, let me lay down this disclaimer. I always forget. Faith is what you act on, it's what you walk in, it's what you build. You can discuss that all day long. And faith can get new information and flow and change and accepting. Religion is the walls that man built around faith. And so it's the that's the ones that start the wars. That's the
Yeah.
you have to look this way. So I just wanted to be clear. So yeah,
Legalism is the word I usually use. Legalism and added rules and just things that don't
yeah.
matter.
It's there's a great bit. If I ever see it again, I'll send it to you. This English comedian going down the church, the Church of England or something. But he's like he picks on this religion. Like, oh, are you so? Oh, are you? And they go down like 6 layers of him telling this imaginary audience member of, oh, you're also part of you believe, and he says it every time. So you're getting each layer every time he says it, and he gets down to like the 7th layer. Is like, we sit on the left hand side of church. Oh, you sit on the right hand side, die infidel. It's a great take on religion. Um, so I digress, but yeah, I never had the cops show up at my door for my dad.
And I did, and one more cop story, unrelated, but I did get picked up and put in the back of a cop car when I was in 10th grade because I went to this Christian school. It was super bootleg. It was like in this weird building. We had like 2 teachers, and like it was a bunch of my friends from church. But around the corner was a regular public high school where a girl that went to our church I liked. So I thought I would go over there and try to visit her at the school. That's frowned upon if you don't go there. And they put me in the back of a cop car and took me back to my school. And I was pretty stupid because this was like inner city Cleveland. So it was not great school. So that's why they had cops sitting there all the time. And they see me just trolling up to the door, like, knocking on the door, and whoever answered, I was like, can I see Michelle Tamburello? And they're like, whoop whoop, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going back to school now. That was terrible.
That's hilarious. And I think I had kids before I realized they locked the doors on the school. So I was homeschooled most of my life. But in my college era, I had a friend. My friend was still like, he's a year younger than me. So I must have just graduated basically high school. And we were working on something together. And we had gotten it cleared. And it's rural Georgia. Doesn't lock
Okay.
anything anywhere. Um, and so it was this high school, and we were supposed to, we were doing this thing was called Civil Air Patrol, and I was trying to recruit, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe there's two stories. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They merged together. But I basically walked up to the school as a technical adult, right? I'm 18 or whatever, out of high school, never went there as a student,
Yeah.
walked in a side door, went to their cafeteria, and just started talking and doing my thing. Did the whole hour lunch with just sitting there and hanging out, whatever. Left, and it wasn't until I got into my car, 'cause I'd kind of clocked that somebody was like behind me, some
Yeah.
tall white man, about 6 cars back. Because I stay woke, people. I've always been woke, man. I always thought the world was out to get me from age 12. So I knew I was being followed. And I get to my car and I shut the door. And about the time I put the key in the ignition, he knocks on the window, and it's the principal of the school. And he's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, I never even told him. See, I can manipulate and mess with people so much. I was like, "Oh, I'm just here seeing so and so, just overloaded with information." He's like, uh, he couldn't hear anything wrong in it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Did you check in with the front desk?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Just act like you're supposed to be there,
And
and
I had
usually
no
you
idea
get
where
away
front
with
desk.
it.
Yeah. He's like, well, let's make sure you check in with me the next time you come. I'm like, sure. And okay, now that's not the worst part of the story. Color Me. Are you familiar with the band Color Me Bad?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
90s, right?
Mhm.
90s love. Think about how they dressed.
Yeah.
I was dressed like that as an 18-year-old going into a high school, talking to every.
Dude,
And I
that's
got away with
hilarious.
it. Got away with it. No cop cars, no nothing.
Oh my gosh, dude. Color Me Bad. What was their song? I can't. Was it?
I wanna sex you up.
That's it.
Yep.
I wanted to say let's talk about sex, but that was Salt and Pepper. Okay.
They had another one, but that was so okay. If it comes around again, we are gonna have to go to it together. But I took my wife the first time. It was I love the '90s, and it had Color Me Bad. Was All for One was there.
Oh yeah.
Coolio was there. Uh, Ed Lover from MTV just kind of showed up and hung out on stage. He was there. He didn't do anything, but he was cool. Who else did we see? Salt and Pep. No, what's his song?
And
Yeah.
Vogue maybe.
No, I think it might have been Salt and Pepper. I think it was Salt and Pepper. Anyway, we saw a bunch of it. The only one I didn't get to see, which I understand the some people why they don't like it, but I still dig it. Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice. He
Okay.
was in the Florida dates, but he didn't come to Atlanta. I was like, I know how cheesy it is, but I still would like to see Vanilla Ice do his thing, especially the new version where he metaled it out. I like that.
Dude, that's crazy. Like I'm finding out more and more about you that was like the same. Like growing up, I wasn't into rock music a lot. I was into more hip hop, R&B, and rap. And then there was like a definite switch, a break to it. So all that 90s R&B and rap and stuff you're talking about, I loved.
Yeah.
I loved one of my favorite songs ever still is Candy Rain.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like that's such a good song.
Yeah.
My Candy Rain.
Yeah. People need to sample more of the 90s and 80s, and I like it. I like when people sample that. I know some people don't. There's a song I listen to. It's the titles are it's so dumb because it's a sample from I think the 90s to early 2000s, but it's called Ooh Ooh, and that's the part and you would recognize Ooh Ooh, and I think maybe it might even be the 80s, but they do this whole other thing with it. They title it the sound that the lady makes, and they did this whole different thing with it. I was like, but it's still cool, but it's so dumb that you titled it that. But yeah, it's whatever. Uh, all right, we got some other stuff to do. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to ask you about. It's been good. I kind of feel like sometimes the only difference is you're the before and I'm the after picture. Whereas like I don't do the Grey Poupon for men. You know, I let all the white hang out, but I feel like I don't
Dude,
look old with it until I get tired.
At some point, I'm gonna shave my head and my beard and just let it grow back and see what happens. You know, because I think it's gonna be completely white.
And that point will come when we first sell out our first major show on the road. We'll do it live on stage.
We need to have our own beans by then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
We'd have to work with the company kind of deal. So that's what I found out is we can roast at home. There are actually some non-industrial roasters. The hardest part is sourcing the beans because they do come in those burlap sacks in 65 kilograms, 60, something like that. I think I saw it on the bag, but it's like 125, 150 pounds per bag.
Yeah.
And you can't just buy a bag, right? You know, you can't just get one. So I
we'd
would
have to find a local place to work with that could get us beans, or like out of their shipment, we could have part of it or something, so we wouldn't have to buy the whole freaking truck of beans or something like that. That'd be cool though. That'd be cool.
Yeah, partnering with somebody would because I'm down with that because then you get to play with your own flavors and so in the clips
I don't play with my beans.
It totally so I went with a different bean in the clip of recording and it flew over to the little guy who was doing the class, but my wife got it and she was like, oh my god. Hipster coffee shops. There's a fun sketch that goes on about that. But for the first time in my life in Chattanooga, I walked into a hipster coffee shop.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it. And because I was looking for something specific, and I'll tell you what. So ending the last day of Chattanooga, my wife had found she likes it more than I do, but we both like drag queens. We have a couple friends in Atlanta who do drag, and it's a big community. And so she had, long story short, she had met an up and coming drag queen in Atlanta. Now, fast forward to this particular weekend, this queen is doing a book signing, and so she's going to go to that because I was finishing up a panel, and then I had time to kill. So I wanted to go just sit at a coffee shop, try some coffee, and chill out for a bit. And the first one I found was a few blocks away. And when I got there, it's like the front of a bank, like think downtown Anytown. And it's this kind of bank-like building. The first thing is I can obviously see people are in there, and these two sets of doors, and they're all shut. Right? It's cold, whatever. So I grab the first one, and it's a handle, so it's obviously a pull, and it goes chunk chunk, and it's locked. Dude in line didn't even look up and make eye contact or anything because I'm like, is this still not the South? I mean, do we not just reach over and hit a bar and open the door? No, I'll let in the terrorists because it's the South. We don't know. Somebody, you hear a door goes chunk chunk, you just reach over and open it for somebody. Whether they're supposed to be there or not. Didn't do it. So go to the next set of doors, chunk chunk, but it had a little turn handle. So I finally like, I'll try. Nobody. I wanted to sit right and enjoy coffee, and I'm hearing it sounds like a coffee shop. I'm like, those are elevators. There's a big red bar that says do not stand past this point. There's a security desk that should have a security guard. It's not there. This is weird. And the sign says the coffee shop's this way, but the line to the coffee is that way. It is. It's like the front of a bank where they taken two rooms that were marble, so there's super echoey. One was full of the age had to be between 21 to 22 and a half years old. The chicken talk. 3 chairs in the whole room, so everybody's just standing, leaning on the walls. I'm like, no, this is a nightmare for me. Well, I might get my coffee and figure something out. So I kind of got behind the guy. I could see the other room. So the other room is a small room that you go and order your coffee, that there's nowhere to stay, but you stand and get it, then you get out of that room. Have you ever been to a ball field, like a baseball field, community center, whatever, that has those old signs where you peg the letters up, hot dog, $1.25?
Yes. Yep.
That's the sign they had. And like, nope, that's it. Can't do it. If you can't even get, I mean, you're hipsters. You can't even get a nice digital sign or an iPad glued to the wall, something that has your coffee on it. So I had to leave. I couldn't do it.
Dude, I'm with you on the hipster coffee shops, but if you can survive usually they're pretty epically good, but it's the rudeness, it's the stupid location because they think it's cool. It's all that combined that sometimes just makes you want to leave. Like there's restaurants around here in Memphis that take reservations. You know, it's like that, but they shouldn't. They're not that place.
It's like an Applebee's.
Yeah. You got a reservation. I'm like, who are you talking to? Do you see where we're at right now? I hate places that take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hipster coffee shops sometimes can be the downfall of like you just don't want to go there, man.
And it might have been the best coffee in Chattanooga. I won't know. I found another shop and went down the street and did that. Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks about them because they don't care that they turned a customer away because of their it's not even bouginess. It's like I don't even know. It's an arrogance. It's their arrogance that just turns you off and you just don't even want to give them your money.
I will play devil's advocate. You shouldn't. You shouldn't care. That's what you want to do. You're obviously doing it well enough. You know, people were there. There's a line on a Sunday morning in a very windy day where you can't. There's no foot traffic. You have to go to that place because it's like this downtown district where everything's closed on a Sunday.
There was a place like that in Austin I went to called Proud Mary's. Super hipster, but it was like restaurant, coffee shop. They only did breakfast and they did epic coffee, and I had like 4 people recommend it to me. We ended up loving it, but we did not look right in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they didn't treat us differently.
That's awesome.
Which was cool. Like, even when I ordered my pour over, like, this was the first time I ever experienced this. I ordered my pour over, and you could do a pour over flight, and they brought over the beans right after they grinded them so you could smell them. And I was like, she's like, yeah, you're supposed to smell it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But she didn't like, make me feel bad. Like, you don't know what you're supposed to do here. Like, it was awesome. I loved it. And the boys really loved the breakfast burger that they had. And all the food Rachel and I had, it was just like really top notch. But it was awkward just being around the other people. Cause it was like, you could just, and I don't know if you've ever been to Austin, but everything is hipster. It's like Portland. Everything is hipster around.
I have not been to Austin. Yeah.
You just gotta kind of go with it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I ended up leaving a show I created, not because it was a situation that was best, but I worked with some people from Austin, and their mentality, it just got to where our mentalities were too different. Is all. Yeah. So if they are a sign of what you're saying, I can see it. Good people. I still love them to death. I just won't create with them because it's just too different.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, Josh, where can they find your podcast and everything else?
Just go to uploadsoffun.com/stuff. You'll find our podcast, all our socials. So the podcast is called Relatively Terrible. Everything we create on social is called Uploads of Fun, but we now have accounts for Relatively Terrible. But you can find everything at uploadsoffun.com/stuff, including our Patreon, which you'll see videos on there that you won't see anywhere else. Behind the scenes, all kinds of stuff that we just know the internet algorithm will not be able to handle.
That, and hopefully we're going to give you, I'm still working on it. It's getting closer. I'm hoping it's going to come to fruition. It will give you a world that you can control that basically becomes your own digital theme park for your fans. And that's the goal for all creators, I think. Mine's Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom. And you can check it out Thursday nights live on everything that is wise_n_nerdy, or Linktree is linktr.ee/wise_n_nerdy. And I have my own brand of RGOP42. So if you Linktree that or charlesmcfall.com, you'll find everything. We'll come up with a cooler wrap out at some other point, but go listen to our other stuff because we're only doing this once a month. So come pay us, we'll roast you. I don't know. We'll get a better tag.
Plenty of content out there. Definitely enough to keep you caffeinated.
You know what? Here we go. I'm gonna try to free. Nope, that's not the right word.
Are you gonna rap?
No, not rap. I was just gonna kind of free. Freestyle is the word I was looking for. Free ball is the word that came to mind. That was not what I wanted. Freestyle.
Free bean.
Hey,
you gotta free bean it.
Okay. As you go out into the darkness that is our world, and it drags your soul down, you've got to get that little brown pill because it's Viagra for your soul.
Oh my God, I'm so hard right now.
That reminds me of the meme just trying to capture a great scene. Oh my God, my ass hurts from anal last night. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, that's a good podcast.